Welcome to Islam for Children.
Abbraha looked as angry as a hungry panther. He could see it was not his satisfaction that people were after. Even though he pretended to be a true Christian with all his drama, he had built the fanciest of churches in Yemen's Sana'a. But people still ignored his fancy church and would go to Mecca to pray, which made Abraha angry, for he thought it was he they should obey. Perhaps I should just make my Sana'a church more fancy, so people can see that it's me who's the maker of glory. That he did, and some were fooled by him, but others knew he was a liar. Some hated his bossing people around so much, they set his fancy church on fire. When Abraha found out about the fire, he didn't think twice. He said, "It must be the fault of the god of the Kaaba. I'll make him pay the price." So Abraha went to Mecca with his strongest soldiers. Off to destroy the Kaaba through the Hijaz borders. He was going to teach the mighty god of the Kaaba a lesson, that only he deserved to be obeyed and followed, and he would not be beaten. And his men accompanied him on elephants all the way from Sana'a, with all their fancy weapons and tools, all ready to destroy the Kaaba. Soon, the Hijazi tribal leaders found out about Abraha's evil plan, and to protect the Kaaba, they called on their strongest clan. But Abraha's army had their most powerful warriors beat. They were all made to escape until defeat. Having become even more arrogant after winning these battles, Abraha's soldiers started stealing people's camels and cattle. Soon, they all were tired, both the men.
وإذا تولى سعى في الأرض ليفسد فيها ويهلك الحرث والنسل والله لا يحب الفساد.
And their elephants. So Abraha ordered his soldiers to stop, to rest, and set up their tents. Abraha told his servant to find the elders and give them a message. Tell them, "I'm here to destroy the Kaaba alone, not the houses in your village. If people don't interfere in what I'll do in this land, they are sure to not receive any harm at my men's hands." Abdul Muttalib went to see Abraha, who was taken aback by his demeanor that was calm. For he listened to Abraha talk about his plan, as though there was no cause for alarm. Abdul Muttalib simply replied, "Very well then, but before you start to attack, tell your men to give our people their stolen camels back." Abraha was quite shocked and said, "So you're giving your word? Do you worry more about your camels than the holy house of your Lord?" Abdul Muttalib replied, "We only own our camels. The Kaaba has a different owner, and he can do what he sees fit. He surely has the power." Abraha grinned and said, "But how do you know that your Lord can protect the Kaaba?" Abdul Muttalib smiled and said, "Just do as you wish." Then he took off with the camels. Abdul Muttalib gathered the people and told them to be calm and to take off for nearby mountains so they can be safe from harm. Once the people were in hiding, Abdul Muttalib and some others went to pray. They said, "Oh Allah, like all who protect their houses, please keep your enemies away, for they are ready with their forces and they can harm with their might. So please help the people of Mecca stay safe and don't let the enemies win this fight." Abdul Muttalib then told his son Abdullah to stay back in a place with a clear view to watch what happens as the enemies approach the Kaaba and then give his father the news. Now it was time for Abraha's attack, but the elephants wouldn't obey. No matter how hard the soldiers pushed them toward Kaaba, they kept going the other way. This was the first time the elephants didn't obey them, and it really was quite curious. But Abbraha ordered them to be whipped, for their disobedience made him furious. The elephants took the beating and tolerated every blow, yet even with their bodies bleeding from lashes, they simply wouldn't go. In the end, every elephant, even Abraha's, stayed put, and the soldiers had no choice but to continue on foot. They had only taken a few steps when they saw a cloud of swallows. In the footsteps of Abraha's soldiers, the birds seemed to follow. From the Red Sea toward Kaaba, the birds had taken off. They turned around the Kaaba, Safa and Marwa 7 times, like people doing tawaf. Abdul Muttalib's son, Abdullah, was watching all this from afar. He went back and forth, telling the tale that to people was bizarre.